to come, who gave Jacob for his fall, and Israel to the robbers, not the Lord, he against whom we have seen, they will not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore he has poured upon him fury of his anger, strength of battle, and it has set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not, and upon him, yet they did not go harm. May the Lord bless all of you who read through this Bible in Jesus' name. Yeah. As we on him, approach the study of may the Lord bless all of you who read through this Bible. The pattern in Jesus' name goes this way. As we on him, approach the study may the Lord bless all of you our last who read through this Bible. The pattern in Jesus' name goes this way. As we on him, approach the study may the Lord bless all of you our last who read through this Bible. The pattern in Jesus' name goes this way. As we on him, approach the study may the Lord bless all of you our last who read through this Bible. The Lord will have raised you up, bless you, anointed you. We are going to study is on the way. But one can plunge himself into spiritual blindness when you don't take heed to the little bit of the word of the Lord. I don't know why people, they can talk about another person's child without feeling. They can say that woman, she's not training her children well. Me, I trust my children. When it comes to their own children, they lose the vibes. They get fed up by other people's children's misbehaviors. But they will accept their own, because when it comes to their own weak points, they lose it. They cannot treat their own children. They will shout on another person's child. And so they become blind to what their children are doing. They become deaf to what their children are saying. I used to see somebody many years ago. We sit at the gate of the church and we saw people coming in. And the person will call me and say, look here, why are people coming to church late like this? Then all of a sudden, we saw his son galloping into the hall. And the same man called me and said, Adeshina, going to sing. That's a big guy. You see, it's easier to challenge other people's faults. It's easier to know what other people are not doing well. But when it comes to your own kids, you find an excuse to do what is wrong. And so Israel fell into that melancholy in our last study. And the Lord looked at them and said, who is blind but my servant? Or them as my messenger, in singular, that I sent. Who is blind? And he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant. I pray none of us will adapt to this type of blindness in Jesus' name. Because the Lord has a lot of disappointments in people who can teach, who can preach, but to leave it out is a problem. And when you have that low point in your life, no matter which area of your life, you find that weakness is always overthrowing you down. You will not be able to please God in every area. And the Lord will not be pleased with you. Verse 20, saying many things, but thou observest not. Opening the ears, but he heareth not. How can we continue in that condition? I want you to be looking at your life, the weak areas of your life. When last did you pray about it? Or you just assume that once that feeling comes, you will alter your emotion. No. You should be able to look at the things that are always throwing you down. That's the reason why we come to study. You don't study and be looking at other people's faults, but on your own, which area do I need to improve? And you take it to the Lord. Because when you are falling and you are weak and you carry that weakness up, and the Lord said, let the weak say what? I am strong. That means there's a room for improvement in your life. The losses that will be incurred, if you don't deal with your weaknesses, you don't know that you can pray that hunger will not trouble you again and God will answer. When it is appetite problem, take it to the Lord. No matter which area you are finding difficult to obey, that's what makes you to become relevant in ministry. You just have to pray about everything in your life. Every weakness. Grant out the power. And don't allow your emotion to drive you crazy. Because the losses you will record, it cannot hold your appetite. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. You cannot hold your emotion. Once you see women, you can't control yourself. Once you see money, you can't control yourself. These are the things you must look into so that your life will be balanced. Because the losses recorded in case of Judah was quantified by God and no value was given because it is unquantifiable. It's unquantifiable. The Lord explained their losses to be predicated upon many factors. Why did they lose out? Verse 20. See many things, but thou observest not. Look up at me here. Look at my direction. You hear the word. You don't take cognizance of it. If you hear me teach this 1 year, your life supposed not to be full of that weakness anymore. No matter what area you are weak, you will see I'm always trying to knock at your character weak points so that you will come out. But once the thing happens, if it is appetite, cannot breathe. He thought his life will continue like that. Eat and eat and eat and eat. No. Look and look and look and look at women and lust and lust and lust. No. You must be able to bring yourself under the total control of the Lord. Do you know that when Judah refused to listen to the Lord, they were plundered? Judah had been plundered by the enemy because of their sins in the past. And then during Israel's time, their plundering was great. They were plundered spiritually and materially. And that plundering is what Isaiah is still talking about, that is still going to come in the future. Talking about plundering. Have you taken your time to read about the history of Israel? If they do well with the Lord, all the giant nations around, the Lord will give them peace. They will not be able to fight them. And once there is no fight, there will be economic boom. During the time of Solomon, we were not fighting any war. And money was coming in. They were building mansions. They were building temples. They were doing well. Immediately, Jeroboam and Rehoboam took to the plane of the world of ruling. They all left serving the Lord. And God will raise enemies. He just give information to the enemy. If you get this, if you get this, you can produce this. You can defeat them. And the Lord was warning them. Elisha came, warning them that trouble is coming. You are going to lose. They didn't lose.